Arctic Sea Ice and Minimum Changes by Michael, Matthew, Cornelius, and Joseph. The Arctic sea ice has seasonal fluctuations in the Arctic Ocean. We can see this in the graphical depiction off to the right here. It can extend down to the northern Atlantic Ocean in the winter, and it can shrink by a large margin during the summer. You can see on the right side, that is the maximum extent in March, and on the left side of the graphical depiction, you can see it shrinks significantly during the winter months. This sea ice is crucial for wildlife that lives in the Arctic Ocean, such as polar bears and seals, and it is also very important in moderating global climate. This sea ice has been monitored by NOAA since 1975 with satellite, radiometric readings, and imaging as well. And here we have an animation that shows the sea ice extent changing seasonally. You can see it grows during the winter months and extends all the way down through the Hudson Bay to the almost the northern part of the United States, and it shrinks to a smaller portion during the winter months.
The data displays the sea ice extent in September, which is when the sea ice extent is at minimum. As you can see below, the graph shows a decreasing trend in the minimum sea ice extent since 1979. The graph also shows that there is 13.1% decrease in the minimum sea ice extent every decade since 1979.
The primary cause for the sea ice extent loss is Arctic amplification, which is the warming getting more intense each year. And sea ice loss is itself the main cause of Arctic amplification. As the sea ice melts, the albedo decreases, and this decrease in albedo leads to warmer atmosphere and ocean water due to the lack of reflected sunlight, which in turn leads to further ice melts.
The decreasing amount of sea ice leaves a lot of lasting effects on the Arctic climate and habitats. Firstly being Arctic amplification. It's the rate that the Arctic is warmed. The Arctic is actually warmed at about twice the rate as the rest of the globe, which this is being caused by human-related climate change, and it gets really bad over the summer months. This leads to things like jet stream shapes and ocean current shapes being changed with the decreased albedo and increased temperatures that we're seeing because of the lower amount of sea ice. Jet streams are changing shape, and deep sea currents in the ocean are changing their shape too. One of the most noticeable effects that we see, this is where you see a lot of pictures of it, and it's real. The pictures of the losses of wildlife habitat. Animals like polar bears, seals, and plenty others rely on the polar ice, whether it's for habitats or for migration. And those are being lost, and it's damaging the environment. And lastly, altered shipping routes. This is another thing with melting sea ice. New shipping routes are being opened. To conclude, we have seen, and it's very obvious that there's evidence that states that climate change is the cause of this problem, specifically human-caused climate change. It will pose global risk to the environment if we don't do anything about it. It's up to us, ultimately. We have to take action. We need to take initiative to slow down the loss of sea ice to prevent further damage to the Arctic and to our planet. It can start off small, just little things that we can do every day. We can make better choices when we buy stuff. We can recycle. We just need to do anything we can to reduce our carbon footprint. Thank you.